Give me a flipping break.
You've got mail.
And you're going back to the AOL days, man.
That's why I love the first time Aaron did it, and then I started practicing it, and I was like, I can't do it as good as him. He does it better.
Files done. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember the
ASL?
Yeah, America Online. Yep.
Yeah.
Ding, ding,
Then
ding, ding.
somebody would pick up the phone and knock you offline.
Oh,
In the
goodness.
chat room, like ASL.
Party
Yahoo
line.
Remember Yahoo chat?
Yep.
Party line. What's up,
Alt
everybody?
F4. Alt F4 to see my picture. And it kicks you offline.
No, you guys remember the party lines? You guys probably are. I don't know. Krautzer probably remembers party lines. You remember party line? Get up on the phone. Where's my
It's
chat?
been a minute.
Old three-way chats.
Where's my chat?
Oh, man. I never bring up chat. Hey, Krauser, how you doing, man?
Good, Anthony. You?
Busy.
I know. I see it every day.
Yeah, when you gonna come by?
All right,
Me?
there's the
Yeah, you Krautzer.
Yeah,
Oh.
I know. We need to do a lunch, I think.
We got to do something. I mean, hey, I've got to talk to you about some important stuff. The wedding next year and stuff. We got to chat.
we're having some technical difficulties. Where's my
All right,
how come I can't interact with this chat? Where's it at? I feel like my screen is I don't know.
It's been doing it when people are talking. There's like a lag delay between switching screens as well.
Is there really?
Yeah, on my end.
I'm watching
Probably all
ads
this-
for your channel right now.
All this rain and stuff we got going on here.
We need some rain.
I don't know what I don't know. This is not I don't know what the deal is. Hazel, what is your deal? It's raining out. You're not going outside, dude. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know. Where's my chat? It's completely not here. I don't know what the deal is. I'm like a duck in water. I don't know. This doesn't seem like the right screen. What the hell is going on right now? I'm so sorry, everybody. I feel like an
Like a noob.
nincompoop. No, well, we got CPG at the fuel station. I want to talk DEF. Apparently these 23s are just drinking through it. And we're having some complaints, and I think maybe it'd be a good subject to talk about because a lot of guys are going to be kind of caught off guard as to why they're going to start needing to have DEF on hand. That's going to be a problemo if you don't have DEF. So go out, go.
It seems like the 23s use double the amount.
Yeah, I think you were kind of saying that last time when we were talking, just overall comparing to your 20.
Yeah, it's you know how you usually use the jugs? I go to the fuel station. It's too much. I just gotta go to the fuel station and use the pump.
Man, I'm really
How much do
bummed
they
out.
charge you for DEF?
Oh, you met
Sean,
me
how
there?
much they charge you for DEF at a pump?
I think it was like $3 or $4 a gallon or something. I can't remember honestly.
Comment. Can you guys see the chats?
Yeah, I got
Look who I found.
Really?
it.
Look who I found, guys.
What'd you find?
I found a certain white truck.
Who that?
That's got this cool modification on it that you can hardly see.
Wow. That you can hardly
wait.
see.
There you go. You can see it
I'm
now.
assuming road
Nice.
test. Excellent.
No, I'm
Excellent.
meeting him. I met him down here to get paid up. This This basket case.
Oh, that's what it is. You're returning it.
I'm not returning it. He just met me.
Basket
Oh, yeah.
case.
Oh yeah. Our favorite mod.
What? I don't
Okay,
see a mod.
there's the chat. I don't know what the heck was going on. There we go.
Jerome Romska says
Yeah.
his high output will get him halfway through an oil change before
Can you put
refilling.
it down here? Let me finish this.
So halfway through an oil change, and it used to get you all the way through an oil change.
Wow, that's a big difference. I mean, for
That's-
having to start carrying death and not,
Thank you.
I don't know if that was something you guys did, but
Does this
I
happen
don't-
with normal driving?
I wouldn't say you have to carry it with you.
what up, Darren?
Is this
Speak,
happening with normal
sir.
driving with you guys?
Yeah.
Well, especially if you're towing it, this is gonna just drink it. What up, Tavo?
Towing, I understand, but just normal everyday driving, it's drinking it that fast.
Well, fill us in on what is actually going on when you're towing versus regular driving. Why would towing use more?
Well, the rate of DEF usage is going to be dependent on how much fuel has gone through the engine. And the more fuel is going to equate to more DEF. And if you got more of a load, obviously on the engine, you're using more fuel, you're going to be using more DEF. So,
I mean, we go through some death, but not like that.
I think with these restrictions, it's gonna be pretty crazy. I mean, just looking at that DS, even you said looking at that cat under your truck is just the thing's huge, man.
It goes kind of both ways. It's like some people might actually like this better on their truck because it is quieter. The engine is now quieter,
I do
and
think so.
there is no smell of. At first it smelled kind of weird, like the emission system. You know how you smell like a regen.
Just breaking in.
Mm-hmm.
So it had that a lot at first. I don't. For boss, you said breaking in.
Yeah, it's probably just, breaking in still. Is they only run it so long at the factory and then you finish it up when you're
Okay.
driving.
That would make sense.
Hey, Do you think that the diesel injector on the exhaust system has anything to do with it drinking more DEF? Aaron?
Say that one more time. You crackled up at the end.
The 23s have a diesel injector on them on the
Mhm.
exhaust system. You think that has anything to do with it drinking more DEF?
I mean, it's a good possibility because we're now injecting.
More fuel.
I think it at a different location, a more concentrated spot, because we all maybe you guys did know, people say that the 6.7s have this ninth injector. Well, what they're speaking about is when it comes time to regen, on the end of all of the exhaust strokes, the PCM injects a little bit extra fuel called post-injection, which is going to be essentially putting raw diesel fuel into the exhaust. Well, instead of having the software and the strategies for the PCM to do that in the cylinder and maybe have some of that fuel washed away and obviously burned, they are going to be injecting fuel into the exhaust. Sounds kind of counterintuitive. Injecting fuel into the exhaust, kind of like the Duramaxes do already or have been, and now we have adopted that same kind of setup. I'm interested to see what the long haul is going to be. When I go and see trucks at Rain Man's shop or vehicles, and the difference in conditions versus here, I could see that sustaining the life down there. But here in the Rust Belt, it's just, man, I don't. All these little clips and quick disconnects and special this and that and one-time use. I don't know, it just seems like a recipe for disaster where you're almost gonna be forced to either one, go to the dealer, and there's not gonna be any like aftermarket setups. This is gonna be like dealer item stuff only, and then you're gonna be looking at back ordered stuff. I don't know. It's only time's gonna tell. These are still fresh, fresh on the market. And you
I
guys saw
will,
me.
I will say from the standpoint of regens, it handles itself pretty well. It's not like the other one where you'd always be at like 90%, have to drive extra. This is more hands off where you really don't need to pay too much attention to it.
I thought the good news of having the additional injector is to keep the oil out of the fuel. I have continuously, for all the years I've owned any of the Power Strokes, I've had too much fuel in the oil, and they were telling me it's because of the fuel being introduced during the exhaust stroke, like you told me. I had up to a quart of fuel on the old 6.4 before I pulled all that crap off the truck. And the other thing I wanted to ask you, I told you before that I started out with nothing in the DPF, and I ran the truck 3,500 miles towing. At no time did it go above zero for restriction in the DPF, but it went through 7.5 gallons of the diesel emission fluid. And I assume it was because it was pulling all the time, and it kept it clean. Now it's regenerating about every 400 miles. But why doesn't the truck tell me it's in regen? I find it's regen because I can smell it. I'm pulling in the yard and I go, holy shit, and I turn around and go back out and run it. Or I'm paying attention and I look at it and it gets over 70% and it hasn't regen yet. I turn it off with my operator control.
Yep.
Well, some of that's going to be heat generated.
That's
So
also a static regen, isn't it? Or no, dynamic.
passive regen, because it's heat
Well, while you're
generated.
driving,
So
yeah, while you're
if-
driving, it
if the
sprays
emission
diff
system-
at certain times.
if your emission system is hot enough, you're not going to see the back pressure build up. Like when I would go out and plow snow, if I were with the diesel truck, I would leave it running the entire night, and the back pressure would build up, and I would do operator command regen, and it would pump all that heat out. But now that that system's got all the way hot, it wouldn't build up any more back pressure for the rest of the entire time until I let it cool back off. It just stayed hot. And anytime I was towing, it just would passively regen because that extra stress means more heat. So you don't actually have to put more fuel into the exhaust through the exhaust strokes with the PCM or any of that, because it's just running hot enough to where that honeycomb material is hot enough to burn off the emissions just from normal operation.
That's funny that you said that, because Maurice Motors kind of said the same thing. As far as Class 8 trucks go, they have stationary and passive. So we have two different types of regens that we can do, or actually three, two with the scan tool. Passive, a static and a dynamic. Static meaning stay, dynamic driving. And then there are two that the truck goes into kind of by itself. And I have a good video we went over. I spent about 20-25 minutes talking about the different after treatments going between a 650 750 and the pickup, and how the 650 750 does kind of like the curly Q and then exits right below the cab, I guess you'd say. And then when you look over at our pickups, we call it the long torpedo, and it's kind of what it looks like. And there is a passive and active regen. So what DS was talking about, if you're working the truck and it is constantly hot,
Glad I
that
wasn't
heat,
still asleep with him.
it was going to constantly be in the temperature range where it's going to want to cook that stuff off. And if it's already at the temperature range. We don't have to, I don't know, for layman's terms, heat the exhaust up to start an active regen. So how Bruce was saying with his 6.4, them things were buzzards. Sometimes it happened when we had a regen. If we didn't get into an instance where regen completed and it tried doing it, we would get this fuel or this oil growth with fuel. And I had a good handful of ones where I actually found the pump shaft seal was leaking fuel, and that's what was making the crankcase grow. So 6.4 kind of a different a beast, just for the fact that all of the high pressure components are underneath the valve cover. They're in the engine. So if you have a leak, you kind of can't see it. You just start having some vibrations and you're like, oh, let me check why do I have double the amount of oil in my truck? Well, we got a little bit of problem. So what up, King Ranch? Somebody asked if you would change out the steering stabilizer when you did shocks. I thought about it, but it was an extra $340 some. I was like, maybe I'll just wait on it. But it's a good
Do it.
thing to do. Skidoo here, MJB Skidoo, what up? I feel like there's something I was gonna tell you too. Oh, we got you do your batteries, those running boards. I don't know. But anyway, he had made a comment that he is seeing his regens almost at 650. Now he is another candidate or client that has given me positive feedback. I have not had any negative feedback with 22 EO4. And it seems as though the normal regen that you guys were getting, like the 370, 450-ish, maybe high 400s, it's going to almost 6.
What do
And
you
he's saying
attribute that? What do you attribute that to? Did the 22 EO4 change the strategy for the passive regen?
whatever they change, I don't know if verbatim passive regen, but whatever they changed for the restrictions, or maybe they didn't feel it was sufficient for the truck to be going so frequent. Maybe it did more damage to the catalyst doing it so often. I'm just thinking hypothetically. So now that we have this range extended out a little bit, maybe they're not going to see as many failures. I know inside of that recall, it talked about something with the NOx heater or something rigmarole not being needed at a certain time or something. So whatever they did, if we want to find more about that, I'd love to have an engineer that could, just
one of those today.
keep it real with us, talk about what exactly they changed. I don't know what all the ones and zeros mean, but they did something.
I had another question about the new engine.
Yeah.
I watched an engineer, Sean Spanbacher from Diesel Engine, blah, 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 at Ford. And he said that they got the higher horsepower by changing the high pressure fuel pump. Does that mean the CP4 is gone and the new engine has a different and better pump?
Nope, the CP4 is still there.
P4 still there. It's 8.5 millimeter P4 instead of 8.
Okay, he said the pressure was the same, but the volume was higher with 6% higher volume fuel injectors on the HO engine.
Yeah, they changed the injectors, changed the pump. They made a bunch of changes.
Different turbo.
Now, Cody, is that only high output or is that both?
It's both.
It also has a different transmission too.
What'd you say,
So-
Cody?
Don't have the
It's
10R140.
You're all crackled up.
trucks, so both trucks have the updated injectors. We know the other side of the water cooled turbo is
Well,
on
it's just the
is on the
actuator.
high output.
Yeah. And we're going to have a different software calibration, and What was the other thing?
So transmission was different.
Oh
It's not
yeah,
a 10R
the,
140.
yeah, it's a 10R 140, but there is a transmission for the HO and a 10R 140 for the non-HO.
So is the
So
shift strategy
maybe-
different for the HO?
Internal components, torque converter, I'm not sure. They
Well,
It
they
could be
had
maybe
to.
a clutch
because,
pack.
I mean, they had to change it because the torque on the 10R 140 is 1040 or 1140. 1040, sorry.
Oh,
So
A
they
rod's
had to bump
frozen.
it up a little bit.
that makes sense,
But
Cody.
the coffee table notes, so you can see the coffee table book too. So this is power
Everybody's
short.
frozen.
I talk without a ride.
A lot of technical difficulties today.
Oh,
Oh,
no. We're still live
Cliffy's
though.
the host.
We're still
Yeah,
live.
we're live.
Oh,
Cliffy can invite him back, or whoever is the host.
Cliff's the
Okay.
host.
Cliff looks muted too.
How do you get
Oh,
kicked
there
out of your
he
own
is.
party?
yeah, you got to re-invite him. There he is.
Cody's frozen too, looks like.
there.
Well, mine's probably
Yeah.
there because
The host is back.
What? I don't know. Have any idea what just happened?
All sorts of technical difficulties.
That was
I don't know.
that was a module reset, Aaron.
I hear some mad thunder out here. We had just hammered with some rain, dude.
Hope it don't come over here.
It's coming, bro. Bunch of
Did you disconnect the battery and do a hard reset? That usually fixes it.
yeah, I
It's a
turned on the
Typical Friday,
hotspot.
typical Friday
This is not-
afternoon.
This
Where
is
did
not
you
a
go?
this is not a tip 'em from a Chrysler, okay, Anthony?
Successfully
Don't
connected.
you say those words to me, but Rich. Come on now.
If you guys have been checking out the comments, you guys know who you all are. Zeekster is a very familiar face here in the comments. He was gone for a week from the southern border of the United States, drove up to Detroit, and we did some PTT stuff. We did the new S&S high pressure pump. We did
Ace.
the pusher intake. He got like the bronze color. He was really digging it. Got the HSM black hot side pipe, and we did some fuel filters and some maintenance. Put on a new lower PPE oil pan, and now he's got 15 quarts of oil now. So we had let that thing drain all night with the oil pan off, so we had all the oil out of it. So
Yeah. Door.
go ahead.
I saw you put a big oil pan on a transmission, A-Rod, and I'd like to buy that pan, but I was laying under the truck looking at it, and it looks like it would hang below the skid plates. Does it hang that low?
Is yours what year's your truck?
22.
I mean, the video
you-
the video you see that I did the install on. I mean, it's not considerably lower, but I mean the transmission cross member. I mean, it probably hangs down. I don't know, like probably a half inch or something. It's not. I don't feel like you're gonna catch something in the road and blow this pan out.
Are you
Alright.
referring to like is there a skid plate that covers the transmission or does that only cover the fuel tank?
That's just a fuel tank. The only
Okay.
thing we have on our trans is like a little aluminum foil chintzy
Heat shield.
little heat shield thingamaroo. So
There's a
it's
skid
gonna
plate
get
under the
pitched.
transfer case. There's
Yeah.
one under the transfer.
Mine has a pretend one. It has like a horseshoe under it. Doesn't have a reaching from side to side on the frame like my other truck had.
That's what
Yeah, that's
that's what-
probably
that's the heat shield.
Well, it's got a pin under the transfer case, but it's just a partial. It's a heavy steel, but it's just partial.
Like it looks like a little half of a C or something like that.
Yeah, it goes under. It's got 2 bolts, and then it goes, and then there's 2 bolts in the frame.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I think I remember last time. What was it? Was it Kraus or was it yours or something? I was doing one of the services on. I used that molded green funnel to make myself a little ramp to run away from it when I was servicing the transfer case or something like that. So
Oh,
I didn't
yep.
pull the thing down.
Yep. Same thing
I did
too. Yep.
James. I did James's truck about a week ago, and I just took the skid plate down. I don't have a little green Forma funnel like you.
Oh,
You should send me one of those.
I should send one of those. I'll send you one. I'll send it to you.
With this new high output engine, is it worth it to actually get that option when it's what, probably $2,000? Or is it better just to get standard output, peel off the label that you have and put the red label?
Hey, you want to be cool? Then you get the $2,000 extra option.
Well, I mean, if it's a tune, you got the same injectors, you got the same pump. and
If
it's
you
a
just
tune.
Still better than a
stickers-
Toyota.
If you just put the label on, I'll think you're cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only
it's not-
difference
it's
is
not
that
just
water.
gas.
So what's the deal? Like a lot of people are under the impression, hey, we got a water cooled turbo. Well, a lot of people actually say that the turbo is already water cooled anyway.
It's already
Cool
one
turbo.
cool. You got a cool
Right.
compressor housing.
So now you're cooling the compressor in.
It's just how it's routed.
So you have more cooling on a high output. So there really is.
Yeah.
That's going
Yes.
to be the main difference along with the tune.
You're pre-cooling the charge air before it goes to the cooler.
That's nice. Now, let's say you got a 22. Is it better to stick with the 22 versus going, hey, I want a 23 high output? Are you really getting more output with the new emissions?
It boils down to this. What do you want? What makes you happy? Doesn't matter what
How
anybody
much
else thinks.
DEF do you buy?
What you say, Cody?
How much DEF do you want to buy?
How much?
How much DEF do you want to buy?
A lot more,
Yeah.
apparently.
So yeah. He's got a point
A whole
there.
lot more. Double the amount.
No.
Oh, no. What?
Who's the
Sean,
leader
so
now?
how often are you actually filling up with DEF?
Who's the host?
I have.
I have no idea.
Is
We
Cliff
need to-
still the host?
Is it?
We need
It
to
just
have a
says
line
we're-
of succession here.
It says we're still live, but I don't know who the host is.
Hopefully, it's not me because I don't know how to host.
Next time
Are you
A-Rod gets on, he's got to have a designated survivor.
It's
A
probably
Rod is the
CP.
host now.
He's back.
He's back.
Yeah, I was listening to you. I don't know what's going on with the internet. It's into the secondary cooling system, so it's not on the primary. So you'll actually, just to take the intake manifold off, we're going to have to drain the freaking coolant, which, I mean,
So you said
It
it goes
is
through
what
the
it is.
secondary side?
yeah, it's connected to the secondary. So you look across the engine, the coolant lines come up turbo, go right to the fan shroud and tee into a line that goes right to the secondary degas bottle. So it's just
Is that
in
sh-
that circuit of the cooling
Is that
system.
is it shared with the EGR cooler?
It's shared with
The
Charge air
EGR is
cooler.
on primary now.
Oh,
EGR's been on primary since 2015.
that's right. That's right.
Maybe for the sake of this live stream, Aaron,
Open up the coffee table book.
Yeah,
Just
maybe
do that.
Hey, gentlemen, for the sake of this live stream, maybe Aaron should get to some of his like questions and stuff they would normally get to because he's breaking up real bad on my side, like he's about to go out again.
Can you hear me? Am I all right?
You're
You're
all
good,
right,
you're
but
good.
you're all
You're
moving
going in and out.
You're
Really?
going in and out. Yeah,
Damn, I don't know what the dilly is.
I think it's your weather. So like if you're gonna get the questions or if you want to like fuel check in or any of that stuff so you don't forget any of that.
Yeah, I mean, seems
I know
must be the weather. I don't know.
fuel here has come down like crazy. So
Where's it at there?
For a
well, it
while.
was before. Well, last I checked, it came down quite a bit. Now I don't know what it is now. I know in the city it keeps going up over 440, 450, but then I'll see it drop back down to like
Damn.
380. I'll see it drop back down to like 380, 370 in some areas. So I don't know. Crowster, what has it been lately?
It depends anywhere you go. It's been 360-ish, 340. I mean, it's been bouncing back and forth 20 cents. Now, I haven't been in Chicago proper in over a week, so I don't know what's going on in the city, but that's always criminal there, what they do.
Oh yeah. And then there's one part of the city, it's like where there's no other gas stations around. They do almost $1.20 more a gallon. And I'm like, what are they doing?
Oh, yeah.
I got fuel today,
Rob-
$3.75 a gallon. But when
That's
I went
Robert-
up north, I went up
Robert
north a
said
little while
his-
ago.
F650 used around 1 tank of DEF to every 4 to 5 tanks of diesel with a 50-gallon tank.
And you get
The
that red
owners-
sticker.
The owner manual straight up says in it now, 2 to 6 gallons or 2 to 6 gallons of DEF per 100 gallons of diesel. So it's
There you
in
go.
the Page
344. What?
page 226 is the page that's on.
So what does all that mean? Better emissions, better filtration? What's going on here?
Stricter emissions.
You're spraying a
Yeah.
lot of DEF.
I can tell you that the power of a high output feels very similar to what we had before with just a normal 1,050 foot-pounds of torque. The 2020 that I had before, it seems maybe a little more turbo noise before, maybe a little quicker spool before.
You guys
But-
want to see the coffee table book?
Let's see it.
Yeah.
Check
Let's
it
see
out. All right, this is the 2023 6.7. Do I sound okay? Am I still
Yeah.
garbled or?
Loud and clear.
You sound really good.
Okay. So here's the engine. Here's the best running diesel engine Ford has
And you didn't
slapped
even
their
turn it
name
off.
on.
If you're gonna turn it off, press the button.
Let's go here. Table of contents. All right, engine type, common rail direct injected turbo diesel, V8, 4 overhead valves per cylinder. We have compression ratio 15.2 to 1, 475 horsepower at 2,600 RPM, and the HO 500 horsepower at 2,600 RPM. We got 1050 for the non-HO. We got 1,200 footies for the HO. Oh, it even says engine rotation facing flywheel counterclockwise. That's cool. What do we got? Lube system capacity, including filter, non-HO, 15 quart. Or no, how am I reading that? Does it say no? The 2367 is 15 quarts, and the 650 750 with a deep oil pan is 17 quarts. I did not know that. Wow. Okay. Wow. This is my favorite engine to work on. I love talking about it and showing you guys how to work on it. Got our oils, same as before, same chart that we had.
I loved me some of that 040. I ran that before. In the last one, that was a pretty good oil.
Look at that thing. Ooh, this looks different right here. This area. Wow,
That alternator looks a little weird. Is that the generator?
gorgeous. Okay, EGR cooler looks a little redesigned a little bit. Block heater.
That go back to
Yeah.
a plastic intake on top,
I can't tell if that's the color or
like plastic on top, metal on the bottom, because they're like the 19s and 20s
yeah,
and 21s, they're metal and then plastic.
yeah.
Can't tell.
Let's see.
No, I think that's just the color.
It's
Spin
still
up,
aluminum.
neutral. Yeah. Same components. Some different shapes. Okay, intake manifold, turbo actuator. Look at a different style CCV. That's that new boy we were talking about. Cylinder heads. Doesn't look like they changed anything with that.
Yes, they did. Read the note.
Right here with the M18 and M12, we still have those ones on the inside and the outside. But scrolling down here for 23, says they were updated. All they look similar. They're not compatible with previous. So the intake ports, yeah, those are the same. This allows typically centrally
Wonder if they just
located.
What if they just put that on there so you don't try to put it on a previous model?
It might have.
What's the difference in them? Because they
I don't
look
know.
the same.
Maybe they bolt up to the block, but then don't bolt to the intake. So you put it on the block and you gotta do like. a
They
new
even
intake.
changed the head gaskets on this truck too. So
Oh, so no.
Camshaft followers. Short block. Whoa, look at the Pistons. Check that out. Look at that gap right there. So this is handling that explosion in the cylinder. It's getting so hot that they've efficiently decided that we're going to need some piston oiling cooling jets. Each of them have a little squirter. Connecting rods have been updated for 23 and are not backwards compatible. Wow, a specialized single mode torsional crankshaft damper tuned to operate in harmony with the steel pistons and the 10R140 transmission is used. Wow. Interesting. There's the cami. Timing gears. I had that front cover off and did that oil pump. You guys saw what that looked like. Water pump, that kind of looks the same. Front cover, vacuum pump. Okay, that's a little different. Vacuum pumps used by the
There was a
EGR
notice
cooler
on that,
bypass
too.
system. About what?
the timing cover.
Oh. Rear cover, rear crank seal, flex plate. Those look like Cheeto Puffs. Oil pan. Okay, oil pan, a two-piece oil pan. Yep. Upper oil pan, we're definitely used to that. The upper oil pan has been updated for the 23 model year and is not backward compatible. The lower oil pan acts as a sump for the oil pump pickup. There are two lower oil pans available, the standard depth and a deeper one used in heavy duty models. It mounts to the upper oil pan and seals using RTV. Interesting. I wonder if that is an upgrade that you could do just from Ford.
So
Right. I wonder how
basically-
low it would hang.
Basically
That's
just
the
order
one-
the 650, 750 lower oil pan and bolt it up to it.
Yep.
That's the one you got to pull the engine to do the pan, isn't it? Hey, Rob?
No, that's the upper oil pan.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like,
The
'cause there's
lower
not
oil
enough
pan is what they're
clearance.
talking about.
No, I'm talking about
So
the upper,
Yeah.
because you're not going to be able to get that out of there.
Well, I think to do the upgrade, you just have to upgrade the lower.
So here is the primary cooling system flow. So this is the circuit. We have the degas bottle, and coolant's going to come out of that and go into the engine. And then it's going to go through the engine, come out of the upper hose and go into the radiator, get cooled, come back down, go back into the engine through the lower hose. We have the EGR cooler on that. And you can see the turbocharger in the middle. So that coolant passage is, yep, it says right here, is going to have a passage in the block. The primary cooling system cools the following components: engine block, turbocharger, engine oil cooler, trans cooler, cylinder heads, and the EGR cooler. I like it. I like it. I like it. Cooling system front cover. Primary thermostats. Okay, so people probably want to know when these open up. The opening temperatures for these dual thermostats are staggered, with the rear opening at 194 and the front at 201. So there's a difference which way you put those in. EGR cooler. Okay, like Cody was talking, we don't have those coolant ports sticking on here, so this looks real clean. How it should be. Engine cooling fan. Look at this thing. Just replaced the fan clutch today, actually, on a 20. Heater core. Looks the same. All right, transmission cooler. Big ass trans, man. Them things are heavy. For 23 model years, equipped with a factory block heater. Also have a grill cover as part of the package. So not only you getting the cord, you should have a little cover in the back. DS, you did have that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, interesting. I should check that out. Here's the secondary. So we just have the charger cooler, fuel cooler. Oh, the diesel def injector they're cooling with coolant. Wow, no kidding. And if you have the high output, you're going to have the compressor housing. So the cooling circuit is going from the fuel cooler across the cross member over to the exhaust so the def injector can have coolant. Oh my goodness, what a nightmare.
Imagine when those start leaking.
Dude, so now like I was bringing up to before, what are we gonna have in 10 years or 15 years when these little connections are all freaking grenaded?
Rusty.
Oh,
I mean, I'm
Or they
sure they're
that-
not. They're
or
not
they-
stainless steel.
No.
That's gonna be a northern person problem, not a southern person problem.
Well, even so, it's still a problem that we don't want to see. But then even at that, what happens when these internally start mixing and then start spraying into the
Get a lot of white smoke.
a lot of white smoke and goodbye emission system.
Hey,
I
go
think-
back up. I was away from the computer. Go back up so I can see the cooling for the def injector.
I'll be calling Cody up. What do I do, Cody? Your deal say you're screwed, Bubba.
Burn it down.
Burn it down or
Ah.
put that weight loss program to it.
Right.
Good
it
luck
might-
doing that.
It might hurt. It might hurt the resale value here in these trucks if they don't.
Right there.
Well,
But then again,
Check.
maybe it's not gonna be. Hey, maybe it won't be an issue.
It's more than that though. It's because of how the system's actually monitored now. It's more sophisticated.
You damn right it is.
So you ain't gonna get away with it.
Let's see,
No, but we would never
secondary
anyway.
Yeah, okay.
thermostat.
I don't want to get him in trouble. Next subject.
All right, lubrication
For what?
system.
You
This
know.
is the solenoid is located in the oil filter adapter. Finally, wow. The only way you could get this really is to replace the upper pan.
What is that?
So this
The,
is the variable displacement oil pump pressure control solenoid. And now
now
it's
you can
in
change it. Easy.
yeah. That's freaking awesome. I like. Okay, checking the oil level. We got something different. It looks like make sure that your vehicle's on level ground. Check. The coil. Check the coil level. Check the oil level before starting it and switch the engine off after warm up. Wait 15 minutes for the oil to drain into the pan. Checking the oil level too soon could result result in an inaccurate reading. So they want you to warm it up, let it sit for 15, and then check it. That is the procedure for the 650, 750s.
Can you imagine back in
lubrication
the day? Back in the day, you could have just got paid $50 for catching that mistake and then reporting it, and then that now they don't even offer that spiff anymore.
Mm-hmm. Look at that oil pump. I still got it sitting on the bench over there. Piston cooling jets. Yep, we got 8 of them. Well, that's a good picture. I like that. Oh, see, there's the
There's
there's
that,
the
yeah.
solenoid. Really nice. I like it. Because it used to be right here. It used to be up here above the starter. Just a real pain to get to. Air management. Okay, okay, okay. Oh, what did you say about this? Air is drawn through the air filter and through the MAF and IAT turbo inlet humidity sensor, which houses the MAF. The MAF sensor measures the mass of the air entering the engine, and the IAT sensor monitors the air temperature. The pressure sensor is used to detect a restricted air filter. So if you guys actually go through the instrument cluster and you notice it'll say like engine air filter okay, engine air filter restriction C manual or something, there is a reset using FDRS, but without having the electrical connector on the restriction gauge, you might wonder, well, how does it know? Actually, this TCIP humidity sensor actually provides that info. Look at that exhaust. OMG. Diesel exotherm catalyst. What?
What?
What does that mean?
Sounds like some future technology shit.
All right, we're about to get scientific real quick. Death is mixed into the stream and thermally decomposes into ammonia and carbon dioxide. The ammonia and oxides of nitrogen components of the exhaust gas is chemically reduced, and the exhaust gas and particulates continue flowing through the diesel exotherm catalyst to the DPF. In the DPF, the exhaust gas and particulates flow through the channels of the substrate filter. As the exhaust gases pass through the filter, most of the particles are removed from the exhaust gas and trapped until DPF regeneration occurs. So remember when DS was saying when he was talking about he was letting his back pressure build up? Well, maybe not that terminology, but he was letting the filter fill up and doing his own regen. And this is essentially what this is talking about, trapping all those particles, and then it's going to clean it when you tell it or when the truck wants to.
An exotherm means, by definition, a compound that gives off heat during its formation and absorbs heat during its decomposition.
Ooh,
Mm.
I like it.
By the way, I Googled that. I did not know that.
Thank you. Throttle body, lower intake manifold. Upper intake manifold. I'd rather have that one than a 11 through 19. I thought these ones were stupid, but I would much rather take a 20 intake manifold off. CCV. Oh, look at the cutaway in that. Interesting.
That's cool as hell.
Yeah, way better than cutting it open. I like that. I like how small it is too.
Now you don't need to cut one open.
Right? Underside of the valve covers, glow plugs. Oh wow, look at all this stuff. We got the wiring harness, PCM, glow plug glow dosing module. What? Formerly known as the glow plug control module, is located under the passenger side battery box. It controls the glow plugs, DEF pump, DEF injector, and the DEF heaters. They have a designated communication circuit that the PCM talks to directly to all those components. So more testing wires, it's not a circuit or a network, I should say, that's going to be hooked to the data link connector. Kind of goofy, but you gotta glow plugs. Yeah. VGT.
Just
Oh,
hit
look
the
at that.
glow plugs.
Look at that. I took apart a 20 and up turbo and showed that this actual thing right here kind of stuck and frozen in the turbo. Looked a lot like the 03, or reminded me like the 03. Yes, pusher intake, DCR, and the turbo inlet should be standard. Absolutely. Like, they know people are going to do this stuff to their trucks, so they should just partner up and just, you got to give the people what they want.
That would fix a lot of problems.
What I really like is how Pusher took that EGR pipe, turned it and faced it to the flow. I'm sorry, faced it towards the flow of air going into the intake streams, instead of shooting this dry, sooty air temperature change to this wet, oily, nasty CCV. Bleh. I know. I like how they did that. Looks good.
It clogs up the ports on the intake.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're saying that if you go with a pusher, they don't meet at the same exact spot anymore?
Mm-mm.
Interesting.
Wow, there's some definite difference with the fuel systems, fuel cooler, fuel tubes, low pressure electric fuel pump. Still something in the tank. We got midship, aft axle, or dual fuel tank, just like we do now. Secondary fuel filter. Okay, that looks the same. It says 4 microns. Is a 4 micron cartridge style filter and is replaced as a complete unit. Those can be a buzzard.
If you didn't notice, they just do left and right injectors now, not the numbered like they used to.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, I like that. I like the blue and the green and the red. That's kind of neat. How many of you guys running B20? You guys running biodiesel in your Super Duty? Look at the internals of the CP Fizzo. FRP. Oh, they're talking about the orifice. Or I'm sorry, fuel rail diverter. Very sophisticated piece of equipment. These are probably the best injectors that Bosch has probably made. I don't, except for the fact of Crowdsters. I mean, I don't really replace fuel injectors in these trucks except for the ones that are purposely full ruined. Yeah, I think that's it. It's just going through like some sensor stuff. Turbo outlet temperature sensor. 2-wire. This sensor changes the internal turbocharger outlet, provides PCM with state of air leaving the turbocharger on its way to the charger cooler. Oh, wow. So I guess it's really going to know if the charger cooler is being efficient or not, then, huh? Wait,
So
what?
at that point, it would throw a charger cooler efficiency code. But on the older ones, it's only reading off the cold side pipe.
Look at these EGTs. They're coupled together now? Oh, no. EGCT sensors 1, 2, and 1, 3 are paired, and sensors 1, 5, and 1, 6 are paired. Each pair uses one connector. Each sensor uses a different size thread to prevent installation of the wrong location. EGT configuration may vary based on vehicle design. Man, that's gonna frickin' suck. You know what I see right there? Okay, so I got to replace one sensor. That's going to require me to take out this sensor. I have a piece of risk right here that I need to minimize. And if I don't have to take this out, why would I want to take 2 EGTs out if only one's bad? Well, now I have a chance to pull these threads out, damage this bung. Now I'm need a cat. It's on back order. You can't get it. Nobody makes it. The materials are gone off the planet. Like, what? Electrical. Okay, so here it tells you what miscellaneous sensors they're calling it. Knox 1, Knox 1, 2, Knox 1, 3. Wow. Nobody's gonna afford to own a diesel now. This is crazy.
Dude, that thing is huge.
Yeah,
Just think.
bro.
Just think it's going
I
to get
mean-
worse by 27.
I'm saying, like, I just did one.
How
and
so, Cody?
It cost me like $4,000 for the whole DPF system. I can only imagine what that would cost.
Emissions are going to get stricter.
So
I
what's
love how
the
they
next
show
level?
a TCM module for a steel body.
What's gonna be the next level, Cody?
Power boost.
It's going to end up either not having a diesel or they're going to end up putting so much junk on it. It's not going to be worth it. Or end up with a hybrid transmission.
Wow, there is so much stuff.
They're running out of room, man. I mean, there's a little bit more room on the exhaust pipe after the DPF where you could put some kind of component.
Oh,
My
the
gosh.
frequency of regeneration right there.
It's just going to be sensor after sensor after sensor after sensor.
I know.
They could put another little shorter DPF in there, like a shorter one.
What did that next to the last panel say? It said something about the frequency of regeneration. The last panel you had up, or the next to the last one.
I don't know what page it was.
I'd like to have one of those books. What was the source for that thing? I've been looking for one of those since I ordered my truck 2 years ago.
So you probably could either Google it or you can go to motorcraftservice.com. I don't know if you
Google
got a PDF
Ford
for it?
coffee table book, and you can find them on Google.
Yeah.
If not, then you can have Aaron send a PDF.
One of us will get it to you.
Yeah, we
Can't
can
get
send
it
a
that way.
PDF.
Oh wait, hold on. I think I just downloaded it. No way. 2023 Ford Super Duty coffee table book.
No way.
Save. Boom. I got it. Let's see here.
There's a guy on the internet that has all the coffee table books going all the way back to the IDI turbo trucks. I can't remember the website though.
You can
Is
learn
it
a
that
lot from the
DTS?
coffee table book.
should see some of the books I have from like back in the 50s and 60s that a subscriber sent to me.
These are things like when people get their vehicles, they need to read over these things. That you can learn a lot from the coffee table book.
Hell, on these 23s, you'll learn a lot just reading the owner's manual. To be absolutely honest.
No kidding.
It's like,
I mean, I didn't even know that they were going to use more DEF. I had to go through the owner's manual to figure it out. So I seen 5 people ask the same question. So I ended up having to go dig.
You know, a little off the subject for hot rod guys. I'm a hot rod guy. The cam father turned 102 years old 2 weeks ago. That's Ed Escuderian. Can you imagine that? He's still up on 2 legs walking around.
who is he?
Dang.
He's the
Ed
inventor.
Escuderian, he did all the Iski cams in the 50s and the 60s that ran at Bonneville.
Did you say 102?
He's 102 years old 2 weeks ago.
Oh wow.
Wow. He doing something right.
You're doing something right, yeah. Driving fast,
Well,
I
fellas,
guess. God forgives all the time.
I'll
that
let
you're
you
driving
relish
fast.
within the coffee table book. If you guys are interested in it, I suppose I could shoot over some emails, but nonetheless, stay tuned to the channel for Friday's video. We have a goodie, good. And till then, I appreciate you guys. Krautsy, Mr. Bruce, DS, he might be sleeping. Ford Boss, Bearded Ford Tech, CPG. And for those that are not here tonight, we miss you. We appreciate you. Till next time.
It's always good to be around. Listen, and thank you because you put me onto that RV life for trailer
Heck
navigation for my truck. It works. That's the good news. The bad news is it's $10 a month or $60 a year. So
all right, I could do the
problem
60
solved.
here.
Back doorways.
I got you. All right, fellas. Arrivederci.
See ya.
See ya.